Hello, mathematicians. I'm sitting outside. It's a wonderful evening, so if you hear like random chirping or bugs buzzing, that's why. But it was just too good of an evening not to sit outside while I make this video. So, we've been talking a lot about integers these past few days. We talked about integer operations. We've gone over addition and multiplication. And today we're just going to put it all together and practice our skills, make our skill set even stronger than it is. So I want us to remind ourselves about a few things. Subtraction is no longer in our vocabulary. When we see subtraction, we are automatically going to think add the opposite. And we're not going to just think it, we're going to actually write it. Every time you see what we would have called subtraction before, you're not even going to say minus anymore. You're going to say add the opposite. And I want you to actually write that out when you do that. And when we see a negative sign for multiplication, oops, sorry, I don't know what happened. Oh, that's ugly. Let me redo that. When we see a negative sign when we're multiplying, I want us to think the opposite. I hope you see a trend here. Subtraction signs look like negative signs. And negative signs are, well, negative signs. So every time you see something that looks like that, I want you to automatically think the opposite of that number, the opposite of whatever is written there. Alright, so let's get started. So our first problem. There's nothing wrong with it. It's already an addition problem. We don't have to rewrite it. 15 plus negative 1. So if I have $15 and I spend $1, I have $14 left. If I have $8 on my debit card and I go and I spend $10 at the store, I'm now $2 in the hole. I owe the bank money. I overdrafted my value. So 8 plus a negative 10 would give us a negative 2. So I want to real quick, I know I've mentioned them before, but I want to talk about some integer rules. And I really hope that you write these down. I'm not sure where the edge of my screen is, so I hope I'm not going to run off the edge. But integer rules. These are going to apply for any integer. When we're adding or subtracting, I know that's not part of our vocab anymore, but when we're adding and subtracting, if they have different signs, you're going to find the difference of the numbers. And you keep the sign of the larger. If they have the same sign, I'm going to add the numbers. It's a good rule of thumb. All right, number 3, we have negative 4 plus negative 13. So they both are negative, which means I'm going to add those numbers together. So 4 plus 13 would be 17, but since they're both negative, my answer is also going to be negative. If you owe someone $14 and you borrow $13 more, you owe them $17. You don't owe them $9. You borrowed $4 and then you borrowed $13 more. All right, number 4, we're going to have to change our thinking here. I'm going to take 4 plus the opposite of negative 1, which would be positive 1. And now you can see I have the same sign, so I just add those numbers and keep my sign. So 4 plus 1 would be 5, and since both numbers are positive, my answer stays positive. Number 5, we're going to have to change our way of thinking again. So here, I have 8 plus the opposite of 1, which would be negative 1. I have different signs, so I'm going to find the difference of them. So if I have $8 and I spend $1, I don't have $9 now. I have $7. And since 8's my larger number, I keep the positive sign. Number 6 is good to go. We have 2 plus a negative 14. I have different signs, so I'm going to find the difference. So if I have a positive 2, and then I borrow $14, then I've borrowed $12, and I owe someone $12 back. So I'm $12 in the hole. So I had $2, but I needed $14, so I had to borrow $12 to make up that cost. Number 7, we have to change our way of thinking. So on number 7, we have 12 plus the opposite of negative 9, which would be positive 9. And now I have the same sign, so I'm going to add those numbers and keep the sign that I have. 12 plus 9 would be 21, and they're both positive, so my answer remains positive. Number 8. Negative 14 plus 4. So I borrowed $14 from someone, and I got $4 for walking the dog. So I have $4 now that I can pay back to that person. So after I pay them back the $4, what I owe them, I still owe them $10. When you get to your assignment today, if you could write somewhere on your paper or type somewhere on the PDF the word, let's go, goldfish. Like the snack that smiles back. Just so I know you watched the video. Alright, happy mathing. I'll see you for my next one. Stay tuned.